Welcome everyone to another episode of Unscripted Coding. I think this will be a fast one today. We're going to be using DigitalOcean to spin up a VPN server. Now, the backstory behind all of this is Netflix. If you haven't heard in the news, Netflix is trying to crack down on multiple people, multiple families sharing a Netflix account. And currently, it's really targeted at a handful of countries: Canada, Portugal, Spain, New Zealand. So we know center of the world, United States, they aren't affected, but eventually I suspect it will. What they're doing is asking that every device that logs onto your account sign in or connect to a home network every 30 days. And what that means is that they're asking you to designate one Wi-Fi connection, so say your home connection, as your primary location, and all your tablets, phones, they need to connect to that Wi-Fi and sign in or check in to Netflix every 30 days. So, you, of course, are allowed and able to do this legitimately as they intend, that you use your home Wi-Fi network. But our solution to this, and the most obvious solution, is just to have your primary location be a VPN. So your home network over here, home, can connect to a VPN, but so can you do so from work or friend A, or whoever it may be. And this will then be your primary connection. And then you might have your tablet, your phone, laptop, whatever it may be. They can connect through home, through work, through home, through your friend's connection, and so on. And everything flows back to this DigitalOcean VPN. And if you set that as your primary connection, everyone can be wherever they want in the world and connect every 30 days. It's not the perfect solution, but I think it's the quickest and easiest. Now, the next question you might be asking is, why set up something with DigitalOcean or some other project? I have my own NordVPN account. Perhaps I can use that. And I suspect that that will be cracked down on pretty quickly, because NordVPN flows thousands, hundreds of connections through same servers. They have a handful of VPN locations, but if you have your own private VPN, it becomes very hard for Netflix to figure out this is a public service. So, I have a DigitalOcean account right here, and you have a number of options. Most importantly is, if you take a look at pricing, these droplets are usually incredibly cheap. So this is $4 a month, and generally speaking, you can get a lot of credits right from starting. We are going to use a droplet because we're not going to funnel a ton of traffic through this. We don't need to connect through the VPN to stream. We don't need to do anything. Really, you just need a single connection. You just need to log in on that VPN, so you can use a pretty crappy server. So in this case, we could probably use a droplet. You have a couple different options. You have community tutorials. You can have a managed VPN service, but I think the medium is the right way to go. We're gonna go do a one-click droplet. I took a look at these other options, but OpenVPN is open source. It's free. You're not going to be charged additionally. If you take something like uTunnel, I think you're being asked to pay a subscription on top of whatever you're paying DigitalOcean. So I'm just going to create a droplet right now. And we get to pick a location, and I think Toronto makes a lot of sense. I'm in Canada, that's why I'm being affected, but this gives you a bunch of different options here. Choose image, we've already chosen one. We definitely don't need premium anything, so let's go with I guess we're gonna have to go to $6 a month solution. But let's take a look. 776. Okay, I am going to pick a password. At the moment, I'm gonna be okay. Must contain. Oh, okay. I'm gonna write this down just because I tend to forget. And let me just type it one more time. Don't care about any of this, don't need this. One droplet, Netflix VPN. That way I remember what it is. We create it. And what we're gonna do is use OpenVPN. And I use a lot of Android apps, but there is one for iOS, for Windows. All open source, but we're going to download this app, and you're going to find that you connect by placing down your address. There we go. Your address, your port, and probably your password somewhere in this interface. And so you connect, you log into your Netflix, and you are ready to go. Just going to click into this. Let's see where we're at. So it's still taking a bit of time to finish. And there you have it. Let's see what this is. Get started. So log in via SSH to set up the setup procedures. So that's done. Okay, so let's open this up. So we've done this. Do I have Putty installed? I feel like no, not on this computer. So, I am going to stop talking for a moment and just figure out how to connect through SSH. I feel like I could probably do it through command line instead of installing something else. Okay, that was a few more steps than I would have liked, but it's still very, very straightforward. I'm going to put a link to this guide that was very, very helpful. So essentially, what we did was we redid this create droplet. What I made a mistake with was putting a password instead of using SSH. Once we do that, you kind of follow the PuTTY client so that you can connect to a droplet and do this starting setting. You set all the ports, everything is basically default, and create a password. Once you've done that, you can access OpenVPN. Now this is the admin panel, but again, if you just use the apps, whether it's on Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, you can connect through the internet just by putting in your host name or IP address and the username and password you've set up. So the plan is to have, and let me pull this back up. The plan here is that you have your VPN, and wherever you are in the world, whoever is using it, your friends, your family, yourself, you connect to a VPN, then log in to Netflix every time it asks you to go back to that primary connection. Kind of frustrating. There are probably better and easier ways to do this. I'm looking at it going $6 a month is actually pricier than I thought. I thought the droplets were free. I still have some credits, so I'm not too worried about it. But I think this makes sense as a Raspberry Pi project as well. If you get one of those cheap, $10 Raspberry Pis, just leave it plugged into the wall, to a wall socket, and you can have a VPN running ready 24/7. So hopefully this will work. I think there are probably going to be more and more clever ways to get around this Netflix password issue. I'm hoping, fellow Canadians are going to think of ways around it, because I think it's pretty ridiculous, and I think they're going to lose a lot of customers just because they're fiddling around with pricing. So thanks for watching. Hopefully that was helpful. You can use VPNs for all sorts of reasons, but we had a very clear purpose this time around. And I will see you guys next week.